things are going this way, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Even down to my travel, I'm like, ooh, if it's like off, that flight ain't for me, or this ain't for me. Like,
you know, so then that was kind of like a hold up. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? And
did that make you want to be a rapper more, or make you want to make money to get it back?
Nah.
No. I'm not with him.
No.
Yeah. Not by choice, but, you know, I respect him.
Angela Simmons kept it short when someone asked if she was single. Just 3 words, but those words shook the room. Everyone instantly knew who she meant. Yo Gotti. The wild part? Fast forward to today, and suddenly the tables turned. Now it's Gotti running after her, begging for another shot after GloRilla straight up embarrassed him live in front of the world. What the cameras didn't show were the pricey gifts, the late-night calls, and all the shady whispers that had Angela pulling back long before that viral stream even hit. And don't forget, Gotti been on this wave for years. Way back in 2015, he put his crush on blast through his music. In his hit Down in the DM, he rapped clear as day. I just followed Angela Simmons. Boy, I got a crush on Angela Simmons. He wasn't slick with it at all. He threw it out there raw for everybody to hear. Fans went crazy, calling it bold and real, like Gotti really didn't care. He wanted the whole world to know who was on his mind. Angela Simmons, though, wasn't just anybody. She's Rev Run's daughter, hip-hop royalty, basically untouchable in the culture. And here comes this Memphis rapper openly shooting his shot, turning what could have been just a playful bar into a legit storyline that kept people talking. From a rap lyric to a real-life crush, Gotti was making moves loud and clear. By 2023, it wasn't rumors anymore, it was the real deal. They went Instagram official when Angela dropped that stunning photo of them together with the caption, "Yo, all I need." Fans ate it up thinking it was the perfect fairy tale ending. But behind the pretty smiles, insiders claimed the cracks were already showing and the picture-perfect romance wasn't nearly as solid as it looked. At first, everybody crowned them the hip-hop grown couple. Finally, a celeb relationship that looked mature, classy, and not messy for once. But let's be real, Instagram lies every day. Behind those polished photos, the whole thing was quietly crumbling. Word on the street was that Angela started feeling like she was the only one actually putting in effort while Gotti was slipping back. One insider even spilled that Angela felt like she was pouring way more into the relationship than she was getting back. Gotti's grind never slowed down. Studio sessions, shows, label business, he was moving nonstop. Angela, on the other hand, wasn't about to play second fiddle. She's not some +1, she's a boss running fashion lines, fitness brands, and chasing her own bag. What she wanted was stability, not just to be arm candy on red carpets, but here's where it gets messy. Gotti's label CMG was booming, and his star artist GloRilla was everywhere after FNF blew up. Suddenly, she was always around, late nights in the studio, popping up at parties, basically living in his orbit. At first, people brushed it off as just business, but whispers started flying, and whispers always turn into rumors. Before long, rumors turned into headlines, and now folks were straight up accusing Gotti of getting too close to Glo. Then came the explosion. Glo hopped on IG Live and clowned him in front of the world. Just like that, Gotti went from living his dream to looking like he lost everything in one night. Angela, the couple goals image, the fairy tale vibe, all gone, and the wildest part, this love story started as a fantasy bar in a rap song that somehow became real life until it fell apart right in front of everyone. Now the breakups turned into one of the messiest the internet has seen in a minute, and here's where it gets real shady. Even without GloRilla saying a single word, the noise around her and Gotti has been deafening. People online were already side-eyeing the situation heavy. See, Gotti wasn't moving like a CEO with an artist. He was moving like a man trying to lock down a whole relationship. Remember that birthday stunt? He didn't just send flowers or a congrats cake. Nah, this man pulled up with a brand new Maybach truck, a $200,000 luxury whip with a massive red bow like it was a wedding proposal. GloRilla jumped on IG, cheesing like it was the best day of her life, calling him the best, and fans lost it. Comments blew up instantly because that didn't look like regular label business. It looked like Gotti was playing boyfriend, not boss. And just when everyone thought he couldn't top that, boom, he dropped another bomb. This time it was an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 18 karat $60,000 ice on her wrist. That's not just a gift, that's a public statement. He wasn't just flexing on other labels, he was flexing on the whole culture, letting everybody know she was special to him. Here's the real kicker. You don't just hand out Maybachs and diamond watches unless there's something deeper. Fans started piecing it together like detectives. Was this business or was this personal? One fan even wrote, "She looks gorgeous, he buys her the finest gifts, and every time he talks about her in interviews, he glows." And honestly, that wasn't a lie. Gotti never held back when it came to showing love to Glo, and that's exactly why people started believing this wasn't just CEO and artist vibes, it was something much more. Every time Gotti talked about GloRilla, it sounded different. Like, yeah, he was bragging on his star artist, but the energy came off more like a proud man watching his girl win. And it wasn't just about the expensive gifts either. Like, Gotti was physically showing up for her. He popped out at her birthday bash in Memphis, right on stage next to her, performing and hyping her up like the #1 fan in the building. That's not how CEOs usually move in the background. He was loud with it, making sure everybody saw where his energy was going. Then here's the part that had people side-eyeing. Glo never shaded Angela, never threw subs online, but her presence alone was screaming. Fans couldn't help but whisper, hold up, if he's out here doing all this for Glo, what does that mean for Angela? Because at the end of the day, actions always talk louder than words, and Gotti's actions had people stirring the pot heavy. Meanwhile, Angela wasn't staying silent. While all this noise was buzzing, she dropped a cryptic message on her IG story. I want what wants me. What flows, flows. What ghosts, ghosts. That wasn't just some random motivational quote. That was a woman quietly checking out of the situation, basically saying, I'm not fighting for a man who's too busy giving his loyalty somewhere else. And fans instantly knew she was talking about him. Even insiders backed it up, saying Angela isn't the jealous type. She doesn't do the insecure girlfriend act. But she's no fool either. She's not going to sit there and ignore the red flags, especially when they're flashing in public for the whole world to see. And that's when everyone realized this grown couple image wasn't just cracking, it was breaking right in front of us. Angela wasn't asking for the world, she just wanted more. More reassurance, more of his time, more energy from Gotti that showed she actually mattered. So when the breakup finally hit the fan and GloRilla straight up clowned Gotti on IG Live, leaving him looking lost and embarrassed, suddenly everything started making sense. All those polished couple posts, just smoke and mirrors, hiding a love that was already cracking. Now the tables flipped, with Gotti scrambling to win Angela back while everybody else was watching like it was the juiciest reality TV drama out. But here's the twist, Angela stayed silent. No shade, no subliminals, no rants, just calm, collected silence. And sometimes that hits harder than words ever could. If fans were expecting her to drag Gotti through the mud, they were disappointed because that's not her style. Instead, months earlier, she dropped what's now being called one of the most graceful gut punches ever. When Angie Martinez asked her if she was single, Angela smiled, paused, and said, not by choice, but you know, I respect him. Some stuff is better left unsaid. Again, much love and respect to him. He's doing his thing. I'm happy for him. At the time, people called it classy. Some even said it sounded like closure. But now, after Glo's viral clowning moment and whispers that Gotti's chasing Angela back, those words hit completely different. That not by choice part feels like a quiet revelation that maybe Angela still wanted it to work, but Gotti fumbled the bag. And some stuff is better left unsaid. Fans are now convinced that was her way of hinting she already knew about the Glo rumors, the label drama, and all the behind-the-scenes mess long before it exploded online. Now everybody's connecting the dots, and it's painting a way messier picture than anyone expected. Fast forward to right now, and insiders claim Gotti's been sliding back behind the scenes trying to patch things up. Suddenly, that old Angela interview feels like a warning shot. She walked away with dignity, and now he's the one chasing after a woman who's already learned to live just fine without him. That calm little mic drop on Angie Martinez's show didn't seem like much back then. But after GloRilla embarrassed him live, fans are replaying those clips like prophecy, and the mess doesn't stop there. Blogs are buzzing that Gotti's been sending flowers, hitting her line, and even using mutual friends to smooth things over. Some sites even say he's been creeping back on her Instagram, double-tapping old pics like it's the official I miss you move of 2025. The internet is having a field day, clowning him for going from dream girl secured to crawling back in embarrassment. On one side, fans are urging Angela to leave him in the past, calling this nothing but a desperate ex moment. On the other, hopeless romantics are still holding on, pointing out how long Gotti chased her, saying maybe, just maybe, he deserves that second chance. But either way, it's wild to watch the flip. Gotti went from looking like the boss who scored his fantasy girl to the man who fumbled her on the biggest stage, and now he's scrambling while his Glo situation falls apart in public. And the whole world is tuned in, watching to see if Angela lets him back in or finally shuts the door for good. But why is Gotti suddenly out here looking like he's ready to crawl back to Angela? Truth is, it ain't just about losing her, it's his whole empire shaking right now. Word on the street is there might be a RICO case brewing around his CMG label. And ever since that Young Dolph murder trial started making noise again, Gotti's name keeps slipping into the convo. Nobody in the industry wants their name anywhere near that. And let's be real, where there's smoke, there's usually fire cooking somewhere. Now imagine being in GloRilla's shoes. She's one of the hottest new rappers out, stacking festival spots, endorsements, and big-time deals. The last thing she wants is to get dragged into messy legal drama tied to her label boss, so no wonder she hopped on live and made it clear she's distancing herself. She's protecting that bag before it all goes up in flames. Angela, though, she's in a different lane. She's a mom, she's running businesses, pushing fitness and positivity, and building her brand brick by brick. Getting caught up in whispers about RICO cases and public drama, that's not on her agenda at all. That soft, respectful message she gave the world suddenly feels like her clean exit, her polite way of saying she's steering clear of all that chaos. Meanwhile, Gotti's looking real shaky, single, possibly losing his biggest artist and scrambling to save face while the blogs keep chewing him up. The wild twist? The man who once flexed about finally winning over his longtime crush now looks like he's desperately trying to hold on to her, all while the whole internet watches his empire start to crumble in real time. But here's where it gets real juicy. Word on the streets is Yo Gotti's been pulling every desperate move in the book trying to win Angela back. We're talking flowers showing up at her door, long late-night calls she never answers, and even him trying to set up these just us secret sit-downs to talk things through. But guess what? Angela's not budging one bit. Instead, she's been locked in on her businesses, raising her son, and glowing in a way that screams unbothered. And the whispers are even wilder. Some say she might be entertaining new suitors on the low. Whether that's true or not, the message is loud and clear. She's not sitting around waiting for Gotti to finally get it together. And that's what made this whole saga explode. GloRilla's fallout with Gotti already had him looking weak, but once the internet clocked that Angela wasn't taking him back either, oh, they ran with it. When your own artist distances herself on live, that's bad enough, but when your longtime crush, the woman you chased for years and finally got, refuses to take you back, that's a double L that the internet is never gonna let him live down. Fans are split right down the middle. Some are clowning him, saying, bro, now you finally realizing what you lost? Others are still holding out hope for a reunion, claiming maybe love will pull them back together. But let's be real, this doesn't look like a fairy tale comeback. This looks like a man watching his empire crumble, clinging to Angela because she was the one stable piece in his life while everything else fell apart. And Angela's silence is speaking volumes. She hasn't addressed Gotti, hasn't touched the glow drama, and hasn't fed into the noise. All she's done is focus on her son and her empire, moving like someone who's done fighting battles that don't belong to her. And if she keeps ghosting him, we might be watching one of the most public heartbreaks hip-hop has ever seen. And then there's Glo. She's already pulled back too, leaving Gotti stuck in the middle of a mess he created himself. Think about it. First, he manifested Angela for the world to see. Then he got humiliated on live. Now he's chasing a woman who seems like she's already moved on. That down in the DM fantasy he rapped about like it was destiny. It might be closing its final chapter right in front of us. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. When love, loyalty, and legacy collide in hip-hop, nothing ever fades quietly. And the way this story plays out could decide how Gotti's whole saga gets remembered. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Public Secrets for more.